Welcome back. I am Teacher on the news entity. A briefing on the guiding principles to be followed by UN agencies, INGOs and NGOs in carrying out aid and assistance activities for the cyclone victims was held at the National Archives Department of the Ministry of National Planning and Economic Development in Yangon on 10th June. It was attended by Minister for National Planning and Economic Development Usota, Minister for Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement, Major General Mamangsui, Minister for Health, Dr. Johnny, and officials. First, Minister Usota made a speech saying that only with the information regarding to the donation of relief supplies in kind and quantity as well as the values, we could record the relief supplies that we have been receiving. We also need to have complete compilation of data and statistics of relief supplies from individual donor, countries and organizations, especially for these cyclone nuggets. We would like to urge to send the detailed list of the relief supplies. It would be supportive to the victims if the relief supplies have really met their needs. Should the relief supplies that are not accustomed to and not appropriate for the victims, there may be a tendency of disposing them rather than consuming them. That may lead to the tarnishing of the image of our country. We would not like to come across such situation. In the aftermath of Cyclone Nuggets, due to the urgency and emergency situation, the UN agencies and INGOs, NGOs deviated from the normal procedures. The implementing ministries have been facilitating in the implementation programs of the project in normal situation. Likewise, to be effective in carrying out measures relating to cyclone nuggets, we will facilitate for more coordination and more emphasis will be given. At this juncture, in each and every township, there are township coordination committees formed under the guidelines for cooperation program with the UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs in Myanmar. One minister each has been tasked for supervision of the relief and recovery measures in the cyclone-hit areas. These ministers are directly supervising the three works of the Township Coordination Committee. The work program for the assistance to be provided to the cyclone victims has to be informed in advance in detail to be able to obtain the approval from the respective focal ministry and the tripartite core group, TCG. When the relief supplies arrived in Yangon, they can be cleared only with the permission from the focal ministry and the TCG. The storage program of these supplies has to be informed also. The distribution of the relief supplies is to be informed as to be able to coordinate with the respective township on the distribution program. The UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs are required to obtain the approval from focal ministry with the recommendation from the TCG for field visits to cyclone-hit areas. The responsible personnel from the focal ministry will accompany you to the field visits, and if it is necessary, the local authorities can work together with you. It is also needed to contact with the local authorities concerned. We went to the storm-hit areas and have reached every corner there. We very well understood the needs of the storm victims in the whole range of relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction works. Most of all, power tillers, fertilizers, diesel oil, fishing nets, and fishing boats are priority needs for them. We have sufficient rice for them, and as for food supply, it is under programs for short and medium terms, and the government has taken care for necessary plans for long-term arrangement. Out of the relief supplies that have been provided for the UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs, we have observed that the amount of tanks and drinking water bottles are not sufficient for them. For further donations, it will be more useful for them to have supplies for schools, hospitals, and housing. The government is doing systematically in formulating and implementing the necessary recovery programs for the storm-hit people. Therefore, the work programs of the respective agencies and organizations relating to the aftermath of Cyclone should complement our national program. We are thankful to the UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs for their kind assistance. At the same time, since there are still needs, we would appreciate your valuable assistance for practically needed supplies. In principle, the UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs shall closely contact and cooperate with the focal ministry and the tripartite core group in carrying out aid and assistance activities for the cyclone victims in Myanmar. Some organizations are spreading false information, such as Myanmar's national food security, where the severely jeopardized are without sound grounds. The percentage of rice production in storm-hit ARD and Yangon divisions accounted for 2.3% of the national rice produce. The percentage of uncultivated acreage of these areas is barely 1% of the whole paddy sown acreage of the country. In conclusion, the Minister urged the UN agencies, INGOs, and NGOs to follow the guiding principles briefed at the ceremony. Then the ministers answered the queries raised by those attendees, and the ceremony came to a close. So much for now. Stay with us.